And now we can begin. So, to everyone, welcome back to another episode of Profiled, Player Behavior in a Changing World. I'm Gali Hartuv, CEO and co-founder of Warrior Lab, and joining me once again is the incredible Victoria Grygorenko, the CEO of The Player. So if you joined us for episode one, you'll know that the series was born from a shared passion for understanding players, decoding behavior, and exploring how technology, strategy, and human connection is shaping the iGaming industry. Uh,
Yeah. Mhm.
sorry,
So,
go on.
sorry. Well, yeah, I will just probably break you sometimes. So, yeah. So in our first episode, we unpacked more about like who is a VIP, and also moved through different lenses when it comes to identifying and managing top tier players. And today we wanted to push this conversation a bit further into the future, given that now everybody is in the middle or already finishing the planning for 2026. We actually wanted to cover a topic about um, what we are seeing with for 2026 outlook and whether there will be this new era where technology and loyalty actually intersect. And given the whole speed of innovation, how and if technology can actually make player relationships better or not. So this is something that we're going to discuss today. And yeah, and we wanted to actually introduce our amazing second guest. It is Henk Wolff, consultant. Well, Henk, probably you will also need to comment in case I say something wrong. But anyway, it's so consultant and casino expert, and pretty much if you're planning to open your new casino and need expertise how to do it with minimum mistakes and the most profitable way, so Henk is a person to come. um, yeah, so welcome, Henk.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Gali, for having me as well. Yeah, I think that was an amazing introduction. That was really lovely. The one thing I do want to add, I do own three casinos of my own. I've been in the industry for 10 years, decennia plus. So yeah, it's not like it's all based on theory. It's all practical things that we've been through, that we've seen in the early days. And we now try to help new operators. We try to help operators that have been failing for years, and we help them to become sustainable again.
So one could say that you're one of the more methodologically gifted people in the industry.
You're a prick. For anyone that doesn't know, I don't like that word. I don't like it. I'm not gonna say. Yeah, no, no.
Okay, okay.
For those,
Methodologically, there we go.
there we go. Well
I didn't
done.
practice that for years now. No. So
So basically,
I'll,
to
I'll
your work, Henk, I mean,
I'll
you're
be
basically
yeah.
bridging strategy and human elements in casino management. You leverage all sorts of technology in the industry. So, to kick off today, and I'll pass over to Victoria to do this, I think let's set the tone with a few kind of blitz questions, which is what we did in our first episode, and let's kind of get a feel for today's conversation.
Yeah, I love that part. Okay, actually, so Hen haven't seen hasn't seen this
No.
question, so it's gonna be on the spot. So first one, describe your current role in 3 words.
Strategic. That's number one. Strategic is definitely number one. I would say human centric, and that is not towards yeah, well, towards the player as well, but also towards the operator. And the third one, wow, that's a hard one. Um, hands-on. Yeah,
Hmm. I
definitely,
really
definitely.
wanted to add methodological into this
Yeah,
line,
go
but
for it.
okay.
Methodologically, yeah. I've
Yes.
had to say that word so many times the last like 2, 3 weeks ever since I last launched that video on YouTube. It's nuts.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
tongue twisted with the word systematically the other day, and it really frustrated me, and it made me think of this word, and I couldn't have this webinar without using it with you present.
Perfect. Okay, so number two, what's one technology you believe will redefine the player experience in the next 2 years?
So yeah, this is definitely, I've seen this new product and I really like it. I've met them on Sigma, and it's a different way of using AI and customer support. It's definitely way more personalized, and I think the industry really needed something like this. Nowadays, you see a lot of operators, they either go for an offshore help for customer support. And I don't really like that because it really misses localization, and it often doesn't present it doesn't present the casino in a way to the player that it's personalized. And this AI tool, this customer support tool, which I really like, I thought they were really cool, and the management was really cool as well. But what they did is now they even check the background of the player in within seconds, which normally takes a customer support employee a few seconds to look up the player and do everything. And this AI knows like his playing behavior, his top game. So if he wants to give a bonus, it can do it accordingly. And I really like that. And I think that's one is going to revolutionize a little bit on the customer support. And yeah, I think that one is definitely something that we haven't seen really in this industry yet. Because personalization is really important, but this one is something that I think is really cool. What I don't think I also think like crypto is becoming bigger and bigger, and every year there are people like, oh, Bitcoin will crash to zero. Well, okay, it's all-time high this year again, and it's going every year, it's going to repeat the same cycle. So I can see a future for crypto, and I can see a future for this new AI tool that is helping customer support and reduce time for the customer support team to actually help these players.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. Okay, and number three, what's one buzzword in our industry you wish would disappear?
Oh, innovate. Oh, innovative. And innovative AI. And there's this website. There's this really cool website. And if you click on generate, it will show you random iGaming buzzwords. It's one of the best websites I've seen, and I'll post it later on.
The stats
But
thrown bullshit generator,
yeah, yeah, it is.
greatest creation ever. So if Joe
Yeah,
hears this at some point, this is a shout out to you.
yeah, huge shout out because that website it's literally innovate. I've heard that word so many times. I don't think half of these people know what the word innovate is. It doesn't mean like real innovation. Real innovation that we had recently was Crash Games. That was a real innovator. And just a new bonus feature in a slot. I don't really call that innovation. I call that gamification within the game that you know that's already out there. But if you look at innovation in the iGaming industry, yeah, Crash Games was definitely a good innovation. So yeah, I hate the word innovation in our industry, and that's why I don't like to use it.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, I feel you. Okay, and the last one. If you could build the ultimate casino experience, what would be the one feature you would prioritize above all?
Okay, now this is a double-edged sword because the responsible answer should be responsible gaming, right? You should have really good responsible gaming. The answer that, that is more in my, well, not interest, but, in my alley is I think that personalization will grow even beyond what we currently have. I think it's really boring that we all see the same game lobbies. It's so dull. If I play live casino games only, and every time I log in, and I still see slots, I can see why the cross-selling would be there, but it's I think it's one of the most dull things that we currently still have. I don't know why we are not really revolutionizing this. I'm not using the word innovate. Fuck you.
That's a good substitute.
Yeah, no, but I think we should really revolutionize the way we look at casino lobbies. I think that is really really dull at the moment.
I think we've just started that process now. Like I've seen
Yeah,
some technologies trying to create like dynamic lobbies, leveraging AI, where it's combing through and studying player gameplay behavior, where the lobbies are now becoming custom.
Yeah.
I think casino managers are a little bit paranoid about this because historically they've always been the lobby manager and they're responsible for placement. And I think commercial deals, especially with providers, plays a big part, which makes it more complicated about placement and visibility and how much, space is occupied as per your commercial contract. But AI is starting to change this. And
Yeah.
dynamic lobbies, I think as well, 2026 will probably see a bit more of this from my from
Yeah.
my perspective.
I hope
Yeah, I
Um,
think so
so.
as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
and I
it's
Yeah.
think,
and that's one of the legacy systems that we still have. Like if you look at retention, we've got really cool retention tools, right? I mean, to me, I'm honest, I'm an Optimove guy. Right? There are three options out there to me, and either one of the three you go with. I'm an Optimove guy. But if you look at lobby modifications and all that, yeah, there's so much, such a big gap there. If you look at so if you're from our generation, so Gali and we're a bit younger than most of the veterans in the industry, which are 50, 60 plus. But we've grown up with Steam. I would be
yeah,
extremely boring if Steam every time I logged in showed me the same game. I would be nuts. And that's something that I really don't like about this industry, that there are so many legacy systems that we still take like, oh yeah, because it works. No, 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 no. Be revolutionizing. Constantly challenge the norm to become better and better. And I think that we should all push for that. We shouldn't even sit down and be like, oh, this is good now. No, constantly invest in the R&D. That's
but
one
I
of
think
the
this
things.
I
Yeah.
think this is where streaming platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime and all of them,
Yep.
they've like affected this kind of carousel, personalized, dynamic rotation of, well, what are you actually interested in and what are we going to highlight? And
Yep.
that goes into, communication and journeys, and that keeps you coming back to platform. And I
Yep.
think that's the perfect segue to actually open up the theme of today, which is technology meets player loyalty. And if we do look at how innovation, for example, can strengthen or erode player relationships, I think the question then comes to mind, how can operators adapt before it's too late? So to open up the first question that I'm going to send your way, Henk, is what do you believe are the key factors causing players to disengage or move away from operators today?
Right. So there is a big distinction here to make. It's pre-registered or post-registered. If I'd say post-registered, there are three things that come to mind. It's payment providers. They have to be instant, right? And localized. I think that is one of the biggest issues. Customer live chat. Consumers like live chats, and it's really one of the most important things I think a casino should have for nowadays. Nobody wants to send a ticket and wait for a few hours. That is outdated. If you don't have a live chat, don't go live. And I think the third one is definitely having the right games. The content is still really like, trust is payments, it's support, convenience. But at the end of the day, people still want to play the games. And if they cannot find the games that are really important to them, like if you don't have the S tier providers, what are you doing? Like, first get the providers going, get your content, and then you can get that going. And if you're looking at longer term, it's definitely personalization. If you don't know your player well, so that's a fourth one I know, but it's the bonus that I like to add on top of that, Kali. Sorry.
No?
But personalization, yeah. If you write out email campaigns that are so generic that if you send a VIP 100 free spins worth 20 cents, that VIP isn't gonna feel appreciated. So
Yeah.
you know, personalization is number one.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a case like that recently where I was working with an operator where VIP doesn't have access to live chat. And I'm
Mm,
like, that's a crazy concept to me. Like,
yeah,
so they come into support, I need help. No problem. We'll send an escalation to your account manager to contact you.
yeah,
It's like they're there, they're present, and now you have this immediate break.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I completely agree with your points there.
I would here probably add a little bit. I'm thinking if we talk about players disengage, and I'm typically thinking in the category like, did we already get trust as an
Yeah,
operator, or we still haven't? Yes, and these are
yeah,
kind of different stages how you can
yeah,
judge from, and you can. So if you didn't yet got the trust, this is pretty much all about like showing the product and building this trust brick by brick. Like,
yeah,
what is your lobby? How does your lobby looks like? Whether you can find good games fast.
Yeah.
How's the customer journey is feeling? Yeah, like did you try withdrawal and did it take like so much time
weeks.
or it didn't? Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
So
even
like,
Or was
even
it capped? Even worse.
but even worse, or even before that, Victoria, I think branding already starts off website. It starts with recognizing a certain brand. I mean, we all know the top three crypto brands, even though we might not have an account there, but we know them and we know it's trustworthy because we all know this account. And so branding, I think, is really important for players to get engagement with. And once you've got branding going, then you're starting to get a real strong brand. One of the things that I really like, I forgot who said this, but so not 3-year-olds, they already know 3 brands. One of them is McDonald's. It's not the healthiest brand, but it's a brand that kids already know. And it's because their branding is so incredibly strong. Every time you drive somewhere and you look at you look at the stars, you see that big yellow M somewhere. Everybody knows, like, okay, I can get food there. I'm not saying if it's good food or bad food, but you can get food there. So, that's something that people don't realize enough. Like, branding is so important to gain trust. It's psychological. It works with us. The more we see a certain brand or a certain person, the easier we trust it. And that's something that we still underestimate.
Definitely.
okay, that's an interesting point because this is a Pandora box that I didn't want to open, but I will just, bring this question just to think and probably not to
Yeah.
answer right now. Yeah, but like, given there are so many operators are opening every month, how not to get lost within all this buzz of marketing because like everybody's trying to do that, yeah, in a sense.
Yeah, but that's
And
differentiation. Yeah.
mhm,
That's differentiation. So when I open brands, I make sure that they've got something that is not usual in the industry yet. So we're hours away from launching I think one of my best work in casino industry, and that's looneyplay.com. And Looney Play is going to open up in the Canadian market. And a loony in anywhere in the world
Mm.
means Looney Tunes, right? That's what we
yes.
associate it with, right? Yeah. In Canada, a dollar is referred to a loony because on the coin is a loony duck. So that duck is something that we owned completely with the brand. So we just made like an entire South Park team of loonies. We made Toonie, which is his sort of girlfriendish. We made Dealer D, who's going to explain the games. So all of that, we made like 9 characters. We even made a Trump version, and he's going to tweet. He's going to tweet with full caps every time. They know who can interact with each other. It's all human written as well. So we've got 9 characters that we can use on Twitter who can engage with each other. Some are not allowed to engage because they've never met in the universe of Looney. So we created our own entire environment for the player to be involved with. And if you're a bit older, you might like one of the more mature characters. If you're younger, we've got a different character. And that's the entire differentiation. You have to be a little bit different than anyone else. I think a lot of casinos, they're too generic. They create an AI image and they'll be like, oh yeah, this looks cool, and they'll put it on the slide, or they'll put falling bitcoins. The amount of casinos that I've seen with falling bitcoins, like physical bitcoins, stop. You're not a brand. You've got nothing going for you. Start being authentic. Like, be you, be funny, be a bit outrageous. Try to challenge the norm, and that's I keep saying that a lot because it's so boring otherwise. It's
Yeah.
generic.
I think summarize, we're talking about like capturing emotion
Yeah,
more than anything, you
yeah.
know. And at least we've moved past the days of like 6 fingers on one hand on a banner. So,
Oh
you know.
yeah, yeah. Oh man.
So to
Okay, cool.
continue this, like, well, to take it further, Victoria, I know you and I were chatting about other areas that we wanted to see from Henk's perspective, like what more out there is there to this. So I'm going to leave this one to you.
Yes, so just moving the conversation, given that we're talking about technology, yeah. So I just wanted to come back to the question, how can technology be leveraged to strengthen player retention and in order to build overall long-term player loyalty? Like, what
Right.
is your take here?
Right. So, long player retention is all about personalization. That is literally, it's the key word. It's the key word for keeping a player. Know what he wants, know when his birthday is. If he has a cat or a dog, know like everything. You need to know his favorite vacation spot. If he's on a vacation at a certain time, and this is not even a joke, this is we analyzed our players so deeply that we know the bowel system of some of our players because we literally realized that every office day, and it was only office days, he had this certain area of time that he would play. And every time we were like, why, why? So we started to have fun a little bit with it and we started to analyze it because if it's a VIP, it's worth analyzing. So what we did, we tried to prolong that session because that's how you get more revenue. So what we did is whenever that 10-minute was over, when he was done with his, bowel system, we tried to push a little push notification if like, hey, you want to try this game as well? You get 10 free spins. And he went from 10-minute bowel system to 17. Now that's quite an increase, right? And if you look at the revenue wise, a spin doesn't take a minute, right? So we personalized our entire bonus system around the player to increase his session duration. And that is one of those things that we don't do enough. We don't use data well enough in this industry. I think we have amazing tools that do it really well. Again, I know it's getting a bit dull, but yeah, Optimove, right? So they got segmentation down to this level. They you can benchmark yourself against other casinos, so you know how you're doing. It's well, not other casinos, but branch average in a specific geo. But it's personalization is key, and I think how we use tech. It's the same with the AI tool that I've mentioned earlier as well. It's all about how can you make sure that this player gets treated well, gets treated quickly, gets treated in a way that is very specific, tailored to him. If I go to the store, I don't like Zara, I don't like H&M. I like to go to Boss. Why? If I walk in a Boss store, I get treated well. I go in, I get a cup of coffee, right? That's already the customer journey going. Because if I get a cup of coffee, that now means I have 15 minutes to drink this extremely hot cup of coffee. And they serve it extremely hot, so they know I won't be out there within 5 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and then you start looking at things and they'll come to you. And rather than like the big warehouses where you get treated like everybody else and you get generic stuff that everybody else has, that's not what the player wants to feel like when he comes to for entertainment. So it's all about how tools can use personalization really well. And that's what I meant with the AI support. So customer support on a good level that goes really deep, not just, oh, here's the chat. No, no, no. What is this player behavior? How can we utilize this player behavior to now help this customer with his issue? How can we use email marketing or push notifications to prolong or reactivate players that haven't been reactivated in a while? And I'll give this one out to anyone who's listening right now. If a player has deposited one time and he hasn't logged in for 3 days, create a password forgotten reminder. Like, have you forgotten your password? That's a free campaign. I'll give it to you right now. Trust me, that campaign kicks ass. It kicks proper ass. But do it really well. Use his first name and use his name twice in an email. Like use it in the top, like, hi, Hank. And even down somewhere down the line, have you really forgot your password, Hank? Click here. Like, try not to be as default as the others. So yeah, personalization in tools. That's how you retain players.
So let's actually circle it back because now we're talking about leveraging technology. We're talking about how this is strengthening loyalty, how it's engaging players. Let's take it to the other side of this, which is human touch.
Yep.
Where does the human touch still matter most?
Oh, localization and accents. Like you can be from the UK, but you will use a different language to a player in the States or Canada, like in the or Australia even. The word hey, H is a very common Canadian thing. Hey, right? We
Yeah.
don't. I'm not from the UK, but you don't use that in the UK. You don't use that in Australia. In Australia, they
You
use
use that
different
in
words.
South Africa.
Yeah, yeah. So, and even then, South Africa and Dutch, we've got very many words in common, but we
Mhm.
use them differently, and that's where human touch is really important in talking in a specific way to the consumer. It is so important. One interesting thing about this is I was in Morocco this year. I went there for 10 days and we did 1,700 kilometers throughout Morocco. It was a brilliant road trip. And I spoke with a guy. I sat down with him, and he was a tour guide. We did a jeep ride through the desert, and I sat down with him with a cup of tea, and I asked him, like, "Do you play casinos?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's a little bit haram, but I do." And I told him, "Okay, can you tell me how you find your casinos? Because was interested, like, how does this generation over here finds it?" And he explained it to me, and I told him, like, "Could you log in for me, and I can see what it looks like?" And I noticed he was from Morocco and it had the language in English. And I asked him, "Is there not an Arabic version?" He told me, like, "Yeah, there is Arabic, but I don't speak Arabic as the older generation does. I speak the Moroccan dialect. And that is completely different than from the dialect that the translation used from this really big operator." So I thought, like, oh, okay, see, that's where language matters. And that's where the human touch comes in.
100%. So, I mean, looking ahead to 2026,
Yeah.
what should operators then prioritize when it comes to integrations, especially with new technologies, when you're expanding those ecosystems? Like, where does the priority lie?
Anything that is based around personalization and prolonging or reactivating players. That is it. If acquisition, anyone can do that. You can pay affiliates, like you can pay CPA deals, you can pay social media ads. Anyone can do that. It's the easy part of the industry, but it's like a
Yeah.
bucket without a bottom, right? You're just gonna pour water in, and it's gonna keep on flowing. But once you put that bottom in, and that's the retention. Once you put that bottom in, it will stay in there. And you'll always have people that flow out. But if you can keep 8 to 12% of the players who registered today after 365 days, then you know you got a sustainable business.
Yeah.
Then you know you're good. Yeah. You need at least like
Well,
70% needs to go to week 2. 70 at least. Then that's
well,
when
I
you get
think I think
sustainability.
statistically speaking, I mean, Victoria, this is your world.
Yeah. I just wanted to jump in. So, what is also interesting, at least this is from our observation, given that we are providing personalization technology to operators, yeah. And I bump quite often into operators who are more acquisition focused.
Yeah, they all are.
And there are so many of them. And typically, if you start talking about anything quality related, they're like, okay, well,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and in a sense, and I understand because typically when you're just starting, like this acquisition is your main driver and you're kind of pushing here, which is good. And we're typically kind of like, okay, probably you need like half a year. And then, you will start talking about retention because, it will become obvious that you're just losing money right now.
yeah,
So not everybody is thinking about retention. However, if you actually do it at the very beginning very well, including retention, this is something which might change the whole unit economics for you.
yeah,
And I believe that this is probably how like this is a success formula in a sense. And like if I give an example, yeah. So for instance, if you starting acquiring traffic users, yeah, and you are already building a bit more customized journeys for them based on, let's say, segmentation or profiling. And you already, like typically there are different people are coming to the platform, some who are familiar with casino, some which are not familiar at all. And these are totally different worlds. And you do need to show different games. You need to treat them differently. You need to onboard them differently. And if you can kind of make it accurate and quite tailored, this is a big difference that can come on the months 2 and forward. And within the player retention, we also have seen that this is quite an interesting insight that we've got recently, is that like we are also doing this lobby management with AI. And typically the whole technology, it works, it has different results. Yeah. So for the active players who are already with you for a long time, they're loyal, they got used to your product, they are probably a bit more conservative and they're less open to actually to something new which you're providing to them.
Yeah.
So you do need to be a bit more accurate with that. But those who actually very new, they, let's say, registered, they started to play and they started engaging with this technology at the very beginning. This is where the whole boom is starting. Typically, they're like, "Oh wow, oh my God, this is something different that I can
Yeah.
experience." And
Yeah.
we see not only improvement in turnover, because typically this is like money. Where is the money? Yes, this is where you're looking for that. But you also see the improvement in retention, which is
Yeah.
quite significant. So I'm here with you totally that personalization is, it seems like it's going to be a topic for 2026.
Yeah.
And you definitely can support it with technology. And given that right now, machine learning, AI, like this is what can provide you with that.
Yeah.
But here, what I'm
Hey,
also thinking, and I will end, my monologue, sorry.
No
no, I
worries,
was
no
going to
worries.
say, I think people don't quite grasp the magnitude of the commercial impact that retention has. And we obviously do a lot of work with VIP programs and like we do retention optimization, be it through technology or account management teams. And when we look at the impact there, and we released these statistics already at the end of last year, um, what we found was on average, the cost of acquisition sits around 5 times higher than retention.
Yeah.
But the conversion rate of acquisition into VIP is generally 1% or less. So you're realistically looking at an expense to acquire, say, a VIP player is sitting at 500 times the retention expense of maintaining existing players. And there's no guarantee of a one-to-one replacement. So you're looking at 500 times your average spend to find a VIP with no guarantee that your whatever 100,000 euro account is going to be a 100,000 euro account. It might just be a 20,000 euro account for the number. So now you need 5 of them. So just do the multiplication and you see the commercial impact.
And
Retain, and you've got
sorry.
money to put into technology,
And
growth, etc.
And this is why I like Optimove. They've got this prediction model where they can predict who's going to be a VIP in a really early stage, like really early, like literally like days or hours after registration. So you can help to push that player into the road to become a VIP, and I love that. That's the things that if you come from any other industry, so if you come from e-commerce, you understand Google AdWords is probably your main driver in SEO, right? 30% of your traffic has to come from SEO, and you can need good SCA, socials. Fine, now you're sorted as a company. You've got company, you've got acquisition now. But in our industry, so let's say you've got an online bike store. Someone buys a bike, right? No, well, let's start cheaper. Someone buys gloves for riding the bike. All right, now we're going to send them over. Hey, have you already got shoes for the winter for riding the bike? Right? We're trying to be relevant to what is coming up. And at the same time, we try to upsell them things. And that is what a lot of newcomers in this industry don't understand, is that they didn't come in to buy the bike yet. They come in to try and taste if this is worthy of your trust. And once they spend enough, they'll eventually buy the bike because then you'll be the first option if they want to buy the bike rather than going somewhere else. They know like, oh, I've seen bikes on this website. And
Well,
that's just a comparison to a bike store.
break it down further. And this is actually a conversation Victoria and I had the other day. So the player does predictive analytics as well.
Yeah.
Um, and from our side, from Warrior Lab, we do strategic alignment with predictive analytics technology. So we're not the technology people. We work with the technology people
Mm.
in order to balance, because behind every technology, there are people.
Yeah.
And I think what a lot of operators forget here is technology is not the silver bullet. It can't just replace people. And I think there was that stigma attached to AI when it started doing the rounds. Everyone's like, AI is going to replace people. And then the famous catchphrase of, no, people who use AI will replace people. And it became all poetic. But the reality of it was, what from Victoria and I were discussing, is you need a strategy behind that detection. So let's go
Yeah.
back to the example of buying the gloves for the bike. That's no problem. What I want to know is, what brand of glove did he buy? What
Exactly.
what was the option available in terms of gloves? So we have 5 options in the store, and he chose the second most expensive option.
Yeah.
Now, this guy spent for the number 50 euros to buy that pair of gloves. Meanwhile, he could have spent 250, or he could have spent 10.
Yeah.
So the reality is, what is the detection going to tell you here? This person behaves like this type of bike rider,
Yeah.
because that's the choice that he selected. So now what do? Black Friday is coming, or whatever it is, you give them an option to buy these boots or these shoes. But we're not going
Yeah.
to include the bottom 2 brands. We're only going to show the top 3 brands. And now you try to see, does the behavior continue on or not? Now, behind that, the technology is doing all of this for you, and rightly so. But now there's a salesperson that has to leverage that insight, because, like you said, you don't want some generic, hey, Hank, so good to hear from you again.
Yeah. No.
We have something. I bought gloves from you once.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't act like you're my best friend.
Yeah. No.
But you pick up the phone suddenly, you go, hey, Henk, Gully here from Profile calling you about those gloves you bought. Wanted to let you know we have a special on shoes for Black Friday. Why don't you come on down? We'll show you the options. You get 25% off.
And this is why I said and I'll stand for this one, how long it takes. Any good CRM marketer from the iGaming industry would blow away any other industry. Any, because they realize how it works. Because we've got games from so many operators, so many providers. We're not going to show someone that only plays table games and as a high roller. We're not going to show him slots all of a sudden if it doesn't convert, if we've already tried it. We in this industry are the youth. I'm literally talking about those that are really into the CRM and the data analytics. They would destroy any other industry out there. I'm certain. I'm so dead certain. There is no industry as competitive or whatsoever as in this industry. I mean, in Canada alone, there are over 1,100 casinos. Still, casinos are
Yeah.
launching there. In Brazil, there are now nearly 2K. Still, casinos are launching there. And that's where personalization, if you can, like you said, if you know how to convince the player, oh, you're this kind of player, you like these kind of gloves, you like this kind of game, you like high volatility games, you like 3 slots rather than 5 real slots, right? Those
Yeah.
are those kind of things that matter to a player. And if you are not aware, you're going to lose out. I like that. I like that.
And here I just wanted to show you something actually, if I may.
Sure.
Go for it.
Interesting. Um, so I'm not sure if I can share this. Oh yeah, I can. So, given that we're talking about personalization, there are still big top players on each market which are kind of dictating a little bit the rules and what will happen next. And given that we're a bit in technology space, just wanted to show you something that I was so very, very, very basic, don't quote me here, but very
No,
basic
all good.
research.
All good.
So if you look at top players and this is super simple. You go into LinkedIn, you go into the page of the big brand, and you check the people's.
Someone has Sales Navigator. Okay. Look
Yes,
at you,
so of
Victoria.
course
Big
we need to
spender.
be, you know,
Victoria is the VIP for LinkedIn. Just,
a
just
little bit.
in.
Yeah, so now you see all my secrets. Anyway, so actually, you know, it's always interesting to see how many people are working here, and sometimes these are the crazy numbers. So if we take
Yeah.
Flutter, yeah, and we go into associate members, and again, like at LinkedIn, especially within our industry, not everybody is here. It's like, you know, good if there are 60, 70% maybe are here. But if you go and type data science, which is something, which is pretty much how you can make technologically. Yes, this is probably another word to
This
methodological.
is going to be Henk's new video.
Yes, exactly. So how can you can do personalization only with technology. You can't scale it with people. That's impossible. So in order to do that, you need to have a tech team, and pretty much it's all around data science. So if you go into Flutter and put data science here in the search button, you have 308 people. And really, they're working with head of data science, you know, vice president, data science people. So there are a lot of people, if you can
The data
imagine.
science team is bigger than most of their competitors.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So they are working hard in order to bring personalization here to their brands. Of course, there are multiple teams, multiple brands. That's all understandable. And, you know, I checked it actually 2 months ago and it was 136 people. Now it's
Wow.
308. Yeah. If you check like top players like that, you will see that there are typically numbers like 25, 60 people, 300 people like that. Yeah.
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 And this is what is going on behind the scenes. Yes, we all know the top players are super huge. They are slow. It is hard to implement it. You know, there are multiple different cases like why it is going very, very slow, but it is moving and they're working on it. And at some point, it will just become a baseline. So here, maybe I just wanted to also point out that if you're not working on that in 2026 around like how do you embed personalization into your product, you might be out in 2 years, maybe not next year, but like in 2, 3 years you might really be out. Yeah, so I would really be interested, just, you know, if you just check these big brands, that's a very interesting thing.
It is fun, right? It is fun.
It
I
is.
think I think even though even if you're a smaller brand, it's not hard to start with this. I mean, you can literally use Power BI or any starting tool to analyze data. And if you don't know it yourself, someone that knows data really well, and you preferably from the industry, of course, because they know what they're looking for. But if you get someone that has a minor experience, they already know more about the players than you will ever understand. So utilizing data scientists, and I think that's where marketing is going. I don't think we'll have regular marketing within a few years, especially now the internet is dead theory with AI. I think all the marketers should go to data scientists now for as long as it's still possible, because you know AI will eventually get there, but there's still a long road, hopefully, to get there. Hopefully, sorry, Victoria.
Well, I mean, you're already
No.
seeing
It's
now,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you're already seeing like AI browsing and
yeah,
AI search and all these different AI assistant
yeah.
like web support tools. You know, it's not too far away. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I typed a search into my phone. I just talk to it and it does what I
Oh
need.
yeah, yeah,
You know, I mean, Apple's had this forever with Siri or Hey Siri, and then you say whatever you want. But the reality of it is that the way that we market, the way we position, especially as we become more saturated, and we are becoming more saturated. We were chatting about this earlier, how you want to own a casino, he has 150,000 euros, suddenly you're a casino owner.
yeah.
You know, and everything is there. Managed services on the left, aggregator on the right, payments, whatever, integrated as part of the white label solution. And you don't have to do anything. You throw 150,000 there and you forget you own a casino and hopefully you make money. We know that is never going to be the case.
No, they'll call
Um,
me in 6 months. Those are
yeah,
typically those are the people that call me.
yeah, but this is exactly
Yeah.
it. You see, everyone thinks it's easy money. Everyone thinks,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
going to be a casino owner or whatever, and it's not.
No.
And
It's
today,
so ridiculous, right? It's
yeah.
ruthless. It's wow.
So, but this is the
But
thing, and you know what? And I think that's where that concept again of relevancy comes back into question. And I mean, Victoria, you and I were chatting about, staying relevant. And I know you asked me a question. I'm not going to repeat it. I'll let you ask the same question now. But it was a topic that I think, Henk, it's really relevant for now. So, Victoria, maybe you want to repeat that question from what we were discussing.
yeah, so I think we really wanted to wrap it up. We kind of talked a lot already about it. But in a sense, like given the whole competitiveness of the market, uh, what would be the critical elements that, you know, which actually make operators still stay relevant? And I think so. We talked a lot about personalization.
Hmm.
Um, in case you have something extra to add, I would probably go a bit more into extra, like so, like what is the success formula to stay relevant? Seems like personalization, localization, and I would probably say like this balance of human touch versus technology.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything
For sure.
else?
And
Mhm.
then just throw in payments as the cherry on top.
Yeah, oh mate, no, I don't want to make all those payment bros happy. Come on.
That's
No,
fine. As long as
but
if you're
yeah.
listening, DM Henk. He's your guy.
No, no, listen, like so I-bands are quite rough, right? I-bands, you have to your guy. But all right, now look. So what I do think is you need to have a fluent customer journey, right? And there's a few things that people still don't understand in their customer journey flows, and there's so much to give like free hand tips. Like I still see a lot of red messages when you type in the wrong username. Red is like, have you ever seen a stoplight? What does red mean? Gully, what does red mean at a stoplight?
Stop.
All right, what does orange mean?
Don't move
All
forward,
right,
basically.
what does orange mean?
Slow down.
Pause.
No, it means pay attention, right? Orange means it can, or green is go for it. Orange
Yeah.
means pay attention. There's something that
Unless you're in
might.
South Africa, then orange means speed up before it turns red. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
In
yeah.
Ukraine, the
But you
same.
know, it tells you like Victoria. No, it means like you have to pay attention because you know there's other traffic that might be going on at the same
Yeah.
point. Yeah, and
It's like
that's
a
the
caution.
yeah, exactly. Caution. And we tested this out in so many brands and with so many traffic that we tried to, all right, let's make it orange rather than red. And we saw an uplift of 17% in the funnel completion ratio
Wow.
just by using these simple things. And you know, these are things that we've tested so like in so many markets, and even in Germany when it goes from red and then it goes to orange then green, and when it goes to red it doesn't show orange again, it just goes to green red. But it shows you like orange is one of the things that we really associate on our daily things with, hey, pay attention. And red is what you said as well, Gali, stop.
Yeah.
And back in the day, and this is where Gen X and boomers get interested because they'll be like, yeah, but red is the casino color. Oh man, please, please, go back to your
But
land-based
actually, that's
house.
very interesting because even if you walk into like a land-based like retail property,
Yeah,
most of the felt has started moving away from red as well.
yeah,
You still do see it if there's a big Asian demographic, you will
yeah.
see
Oh
red.
yeah, yeah,
You definitely will. But if you go into more like westernized land-based casinos, the felts are more often green, purple, blue, you know,
yeah.
and you see those sort of colors, and it's not red. And I've never actually thought about it,
Mm,
until now.
yeah,
And it's a very interesting point to have brought up because, even nowadays, and you see it with like live dealer studios, now you get black as well. when you have like, like your lightning roulettes and all those
Yeah.
sort of game shows, like it's all these kind of darker, more mysterious
Yeah.
colors, even like from the greens, it's no longer the bright green, it's like the dark, mysterious green. Why? Because it keeps that intrigue. It
Yeah.
keeps people engaged. It keeps people wanting to know what's happening. And that's actually very interesting. I didn't even think about that.
No,
But
but that's when you got like because we had a few operations that we nailed everything down, right? We A/B tested everything. And at a certain point we were like, okay, we need to check how can we improve this? And we thought about it and there were my team was brilliant. I have this amazing designer and we sat down with him and he told him like, all right, let's try around and see if we can do something different here. Just try the different colors. And
yeah,
when that's when we realized, like, all right, let's make it an attention color. Let's try that. And that's why you see, like, because when we had like when you can sign up, it's often green, so red is stop. So why not try orange? And we tried that, and not just in one operation, we tried it in several. But that's when we already had all the rest sorted as well, right? So you can have you can apply this and still have a shitty conversion ratio, but that doesn't mean that's because of this. It could be one of all the other many things that could be wrong with your website. So you
yeah.
need to allocate, all right, where does my client leaves? Where does my client? So there's tools like Microsoft Clarity and Hotjar. Those are really nice. They show heat maps. You can literally follow where your client leaves or the player leaves the website. But if you look at Google Analytics and you look at the page where they left and you look at, hey, where did they on that page, what made them leave from this website? Couldn't they find a game? Maybe it was just a generic web page or whatsoever. If you can find the issue, if you can pinpoint it and you can address it and you can redo it, that's where you're really going to get a lot of success.
So perfectly valid point and a lot to unpack
Yeah.
from this conversation so far. We still have some time. I want to open up for those that have attended today and for the audience that if there's any questions or anyone wants to ask about a technological difference in your operation, or if there's something that you want to ask, we definitely have time for a question before we say goodbye. So I don't know if anyone would like to type in the chat something. So I'll give you guys a few moments if there's anyone out there that would like to ask a question, and we
And
can see if Henk can't answer it.
in the meanwhile, Victoria, I'm quite curious as well. So you work a lot with data. What's the most interesting thing that you've seen in this year? What's the change that you've seen from 2024 to 2025?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I would say that in 2024, AI and personalization was kind of like out of thinking for many operators. While everybody was already about AI, ChatGPT, everything like in all other interesting, everything was booming. But I think in iGaming it was interesting because when it just kind of started, companies just kind of added AI and then they took it away, you know.
Yeah.
So it was very curious, to observe that this is not something that people started to think about and try out, rather than like, okay, interesting, something like happened, whatever. Yeah, but in 2025, what I'm at least now observing that it is becoming more relevant. People are really starting to be more interested into that and kind of really looking, starting to think how it can be practically applied and what can be done. Because before it was like, the reaction on our solution was more like, we have data analytics, that's enough.
Mm.
We're good with that.
Yeah.
But now it feels like at least it becomes more important. There are much more operators who are interested, and for me also, that's just my feeling that in 2026 there will be a boom, because again, operators are getting squeezed all the time, by all providers, like
Yeah.
your acquisition partners, your game providers, royalties are increasing, payments
Yep.
are getting more expensive. In a sense, it all eats up from the margin of operators. And you, as an operator, you need to be somehow differentiated. You need to be interesting in order so that the players are coming back actually to you, so that you're not getting lost in this noise of multiple casinos which are opening, and stuff. And I believe here, like the unit economics will really work very well once you combine the internal expertise and technological possibilities that you can have right now. And definitely, I wouldn't say that technology would just, save the world. No, but like you really need this joint work
Yeah.
um in order to make it work, because again, you can do amazing VAP detection model, it will be perfect. And then like if you actually don't act upon it or act in a wrong way, it actually might do more harm than benefit for you. So
100% can agree with that statement there.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. And that's a
So
good one.
I have one other question to ask. So we haven't gotten questions from the audience today, but I've got a bonus question for you, Henk.
Right.
It might just be a bit more of a tease, and you don't need to reveal everything, but I mean, you're Dutch.
Mm.
Any chances of you ever re-entering the market again?
So I did had a few Dutch clients and we did work magic there. And I do see a lot of questions, not just from you, but also from the biggest affiliate in the Dutch market. They ask me the same, like, we ever return to the Dutch market? Um, Never say never. And I think 2026 might be more surprising for most people in this industry than in the Dutch market than they actually realize. Because I've always said if I do come in the Dutch market, I'm gonna swoop it away. And yeah, maybe it's one of the
We'll
markets that
we'll
always
put
kept my interest.
so we're going to put a pin on that, and we're going to circle back a few months from now where we hopefully get you back on to chat
For sure.
further.
We got a question, by the way. We got a question.
We did. So let's read this question before we wrap up. So the question here from Marius is, what are the biggest mistakes new operators make in their first year, and what's the fastest acquisition route for a new casino?
Right. So I think we've already touched down on this. It's definitely not having a retention plan in place. I think acquisition, right? Acquisition can be done quite fast. If you're looking at really fast, you can do affiliates and paid media. Those are the fastest ways to get acquisition. Does that mean it's the most sustainable? No. A lot of the traffic that comes from affiliate might be bonus hunters if you work with the wrong affiliates, and those might cost you a lot of money. So those are the things that you need to be wary about. There's also not having a big enough bankroll or having a too high max exposure. So there are a few mistakes that are, well, not a few, there are a lot of mistakes that a new casino can make. For instance, if you're just opening up and you've got a smaller budget, let's say what Gali used earlier as an example, 150,000 euros. And there's a player that wins 100K all of a sudden on a high exposure game. That's one third of your budget gone. And that third of your budget is gone because you didn't put out a max exposure on a game, or you didn't remove that game from the possibilities to play it. So you have to be wary of the games that you put on the website. You have to be wary of the exposure you're going to put up the website. You have to be wary of the that you're not just going to be a copy of a copy of a copy website. So you don't just become a template. You need to have a brand identity. You need to have acquisition and retention in place, and not just off-site retention, on-site retention as well. When a player makes his first deposit, that same day, that same session, he should be able to make a second deposit. You'll see that players that do make their second deposit right in their first session, they have a very high rate to become a VIP. And that's why we get into Gali, his area. So those are just a few common mistakes that I see a lot of casinos, new operators make. And yeah, that's just like there's so many. There's so
I'll
many.
add one more like crucial component on top of that, and that's when
Mm.
operators try to do everything all at once.
Oh yeah.
And it happens so regularly. Like the reality is start with like an MVP. Start with a foundation, a rock solid, well thought out foundation, and build on it like systematically.
Yeah.
Don't try and do it all. I mean, I've seen VIP programs that probably shouldn't have even gone public go live, and they want a gifting program and hospitality, and they want to take account managers into the field, and they want to fly players out on jets and whatever it is. And the reality is you don't even have a way to track bonuses. Now you want to do all of
Yeah.
this. And it's like just take it one step at a time. You can't do it all at once. So if you are going to do it right
Yeah.
and do it right the first time, because to go back and redo is a
Oof.
very expensive and brand impacting exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. The brand impact is what a lot of people don't realize as well. That's
Yeah.
nuts. Right. It was
But
really cool.
Okay.
It was
I,
really
I
cool,
think
guys.
I
that
think we do
takes
need
us
to
towards
wrap
our
up.
end. Yeah.
I really
Um,
liked it.
I enjoyed it as well. And I mean, I think, Henk, yeah, a big thank you from all of us for joining and sharing your perspective and sharing your insights and giving practical examples as well. Just for everyone, again, like it wouldn't be possible without the collaborations on our partners. So to the Player, Warrior Lab, and the iGaming Roundtable community group, a massive thank you from here. And then our final episode will take place next month, just to wrap up 2025. Victoria and I will announce it on LinkedIn, so stay tuned. And again, we'll see you all at the next one. So thanks very much for your time and for coming today.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
very much. And thank you, Henk, for joining us today. It was a very brilliant conversation. We wanted to have it 45 minutes, but actually it's been 65. But that was so joyful.
Sorry. I'm just
Perfect.
passionate. I'm just passionate. I don't know what to say.
No, no, no. That was
Everyone.
amazing. Thank you very much. And thank you
Thanks.
everyone for listening as well.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.